Okay, I'm going to start off by showing you how I created the art tile on the card front. This is the tile. It's 2 inches square and it's made by using some stamp board from Ampersand Art Supplies. Now this is the 2-inch square. I've got the big bag that has the 40 tiles in there, and you have a mixture of sizes of 2-inch, 1.5 inch and 1 inch. Now I've got some already done, as you can see, because I use these all the time. So that's the 2-inch one that I've shown you earlier. That's a 1.5 inch one, nice little steampunky style. That's a 1-inch one, and that's another one that I've also edged in silver. So that's kind of like a postage stamp one. So I'm using the 2-inch style to start off with. So what I'm going to do is I'll just grab all my bits and pieces and I'll show you exactly what I did to create that tile. I've raided my stamp stash and I've pulled out some of my older Stampin' Up ones. So we have the En Francais set, we have the Bliss set, we have the You Are Amazing, excuse the mark, and we have the Papillon Potpourri set. Now these are the ones that I'll be using in the creation of this little art tile here. So I'm going to make a start. This is the En Francais background stamp. Now I'm going to ink up, you notice that it's not on a block or anything. I'm just going to ink up the top corner using Ranger Archival ink, which is the jet black. Okay, so give that a good coating, and then I'm going to turn my tile over and I'm going to stick that down onto it. Before I do, I just want to explain, right, the stamp board, if you've never seen these before, they're wood on the back and the white coating on the front is actually clay. It's a white ceramic, which makes it really super smooth and enables you to get a really crisp, clear impression when you're stamping. Now I'm going to put this face down onto this. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit closer for you. There you go. Right, so it doesn't really matter where I put it, but I'm gonna try and make sure that I get it so that it is straight. So I'm just going to push down and then let's try it off. And there you go. A real crisp, clear impression from the stamp. So that stamp can go away now. Okay, go away stamp. Now, because I've used archival ink, I'm just going to give it a quick blast with a heat tool because I want it totally dry. Doesn't take too long. Now, just a word of warning while I'm doing this. It's ceramic, and ceramics conduct heat. So this does get very hot. So just be careful and don't say I didn't warn you. Okay, so we have our tile. Yes, it is hot. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a selection of distress inks. I think I'm going to use Shaded Lilac, I'm going to use Mustard Seed, and I think I'm going to use Abandoned Coral. Okay, so Mustard Seed, Abandoned Coral and Shaded Lilac. So now then, where are my blending tools? There they are, hidden away. So Shaded Lilac. Just grabbing some colours out, and I know there's a yellow in here somewhere. There we go, that'll do. It's about time I replaced all these, look at that. They're all disgusting and in need of a wash. A bit like me. Okay, so Shaded Lilac. I'm going to take the Shaded Lilac and I'm just going to dab. I'm not wiping, I'm not blending, I'm not doing circular motions. I'm just going to dab that colour. Literally just pouncing up and down across the corner like so. There you go. Just keep up and down until I'm happy with the colour intensity, which I am. Okay, so I'm going to now add in the abandoned coral. So just move the lilac out of the way, bring the coral in, and I'm going to flip the tile, and I'm going to just add that in the same way, dab dab dab, across the corner. It's turning into a French flag. As long as you don't start singing the Marseillaise, I don't mind. Okay, that's fine. So we're done with that. Put the lilac away, put that away, and then we're going to grab our mustard seed. And what I'm going to do with this, as soon as I start adding this, the yellow is going to react with the lilac, and the yellow will also start reacting with the abandoned coral. And so hopefully when I put across the middle, we'll start getting a nice extra double shades. So we're now getting orange, and we're getting a nice little greeny band too. So there we go. We have now a lovely kind of rainbowy kind of effect. Now just looking at the monitor, you can't really see that that is turned into a green colour. It looks probably more like a darker green to you. Not darker green, darker orange or darker yellow, but it definitely is a greeny colour here in real life. But I'm just going to go back over with the lilac just to accentuate it slightly. There we go. I think that is going to do us. Okay, put my distress inks to one side, throw the blenders in a tub out the way, and then get the heat tool out again, and then I'm going to heat set the distress ink that's on there. Doesn't take too long, because the ceramic surface does get very hot. It does actually heat it underneath, so it does dry really, really quickly. There you go. Now I will see if I can try and lift that up to the camera a bit more, but like I say, it does get hot hot. There you go. So it does look a bit dirty across the middle now, but it's still green in real life. There you go. So now we've got that, I'm going to start adding on the detail now. So I need some of the other stamps. So I've got my papillon potpourri. We're all doing very much French today, aren't we? And I'm going to take my little papillon, grab a stamp block, and once again with the archival ink, give it a real good coating, and then I'm going to put the butterfly right the way across the corner. Now with this, I haven't done it yet, but with this I'm going to do a quick kiss stamp, because it will stick and it will lift up, but I don't want it to slide. So down and off, there you go. So le butterfly, le papillon, is now on there. And then we want the ticket, which is from the You're Amazing stamp set, which is this tiny little thing here, no bigger than my thumbnail. There you go, just proving a point. Tiny little stamp, swap blocks, small block, archival ink again. Don't know why I bothered putting the lid on, could have just left it off. Okay, give it a bit of an ink up, and then I'm just going to pop that better back in frame in that top corner. Same again, on and off, ticket stamped, and that can go back from whence it came, and now I just want the little flower stamp from the Bliss set, which is this one here. I could have used the butterfly from this one, but I don't like it all that much. Okay, so the butterfly, ugh, no, the flower, right. Give that a bit of an ink up, and then I'm going to just put that encroaching in at the top, like so, and I think again at the bottom there, and I think again just coming in at the side there. Now I think that looks rather lovely. Lovely. This was the one that I did earlier. As you can see, there is no glossy finish to that. Now I could leave it there. I could just leave it as it is, but I don't want to. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to heat set my archivaling. That'll do us. So I've got a real hot tile. Ow, ow. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, and then what I need now is some Arranger Multi-Medium Matte. Matte. Not gloss, but matte. You could use gloss if you wanted to. You could cover the entire thing with glossy accents if you want to. I have done on that one, which is a smaller one. Can you see the shine? There you go. That's a 1.5 inch one, which I have covered in glossy accents. But for the time being, or for the purpose of this, I'm going to show you one without. So I'm just going to dry off a brush. I've been very scrappy today. Not very tidy crafting today. If you could see the floor of my craft room, you'd understand exactly what I'm talking about. It is littered with litter. There you go. Okay, I'm taking the matte medium, and I've got some just on the brush, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dab. I'm not brushing, and I'm not swiping. I'm literally just dabbing the matte medium over the surface of the tile. Now this will ensure that the distress ink doesn't reactivate, but also it gives you a bit of a nice texture, because you get a real sort of mottled texture. So I'm just going backwards and forwards, up and down, kind of doing a cha-cha with the brush, evening out the matte medium as I'm going, and just adding a bit extra, and just keep being very careful not to smear or smudge or try and reactivate that distress ink, because the last thing we want is a hot mess. Okay, now I have made a bit of a hot mess. I'm just going to take a little wipe, and I'm just going to dab that medium in that corner, because it's picked up the yellow and it's transferred it, but that's okay. I don't mind, because I've still got some on there, so I can re-put it on and then give it a heat blast. Okay, and then pick up some more, and then literally just do the same thing up and down, evening it all out. Now once you've got this on, I would suggest actually leaving it to air dry rather than trying to heat set it, because if you try and heat set it, then the chances are you are going to make it bubble, and we don't want that. Okay, that's enough. I think I've got more than enough of the matte medium on there. Okay, I'm just going to give it a quick blast, because I do need to work on this, so I do kind of need it to be dry enough to be able to do it. Okay, I'm happy with that. So we now have one, a hot tile again, and it's protected, it's got the coating, and it's not shiny. But look how that black really shows through. Isn't that lovely? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, well, this is the one that we did earlier. If you notice, it has got gold edges. So we're going to add the gold. So a piece of scrap paper, some Versamark ink pad, and some gold embossing powder. Now I'm using metallic gold rich superfine from Wow. Okay, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to dab the tile onto the pad and then dump out a load of the gold. Just pop the lid back on because I'll probably end up blowing it everywhere. And then literally just standing the tile. There we go. I think it just went out of focus. Standing the tile in it. Try and keep it so you can see. Don't worry about getting any embossing powder on your ink pad. It does wipe off. Now you can see I'm holding the tile in my fingers, which means A, it's no longer hot, and B, it means the matte medium is dry. Okay, so I've got gold embossing powder all around. I'm not going to put that back into the pot just yet because I might want to do a second coating. So what I'm going to do, I've got my heat tool. I'm also going to bring in a pot which is raised up, and I'm going to stand it on the top. And then with my heat gun, I can come in at the side and I can turn it like a lazy Susan all the way around. And you can see the gold starting to spread up and wick up over the top, giving it a really nice, with a nice big bubble there. That's going to look rather lovely. So it's collected quite a big chunk there. Just go all the way around to make sure we haven't missed anywhere. Even out any areas. Great. Okay. So we've now got a gold edge. But if you're not happy with it, you can do it again. Now the embossing powder does dry and cool down fairly quick. But if you want to just leave it for a minute or two, you can do. And then do it again. And you can do it as many times as you want to until you're happy with the effect you've got around the edges. Okay, so I'm going to carry on. I'm going to make carry on with the project. I'm going to leave that to one side, and we're going to use this one to finish off the project. And I have a sheet of matte black cardstock, which is about 300 GSM. I'm not sure what that is in American, but it's quite heavy. It's probably one of the heavyweight. Come on, focus, thank you. I'm going to fold this in half, and then I'm going to cut it right down the middle to create a top folding, what the Americans call, or you lovely Americans call, an A2 card. In the UK we call it an A6, just to confuse things. Again, two countries separated by common language. Okay, so you call it an A2, we call that an A6. Now I want to do it so it's a landscape, come on focus, thank you very much. I want to do it so it's a landscape folding card, which means a side opening like that. So pop that to one side. Okay, so I've taken from an old paper stash a piece of like almost black effect damask, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to stick that down on the front of my card. Now my measurements, as you can see, I've already written them on there. are about 140 millimeters by about 101 millimeters. So I'll just give that a bit of glue down there, and then stick that whichever way up I fancy, which is that way, onto my card front. Now, because I'm using wet glue, it does give me a few seconds to play with it before it's grabbed. Oh, look at that. And that's an Ink Essentials glue stick. And it no longer works. It's lost its oomph. Okay, so let's just stick to our old favourite. It's not that old either, that. Useless. Shan't be buying one of those again. Okay, so back down, slide into place. That's better. Just give that a rub down. I would have used a tape runner, but I don't know what I've done with it, because my craft room's in such a state at the minute. Okay, I've taken a 2-inch wide strip of black card, which I'm then going to stick into or across the middle. Again. And then position that so it's just slightly higher than the middle. Beautiful. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to stick down our art tile. Okay, I've already put a foam pad on the back, and I'm going to stick that down so that it's at a little bit of an angle, like so. Just hope that black card sticks down properly. That's the problem with using wet glue on card. Right, the next step is I'm going to use the Hope from this inspiration word strip. So I'm going to cut, this is from Crafty Hands here in the UK. Okay, I'm going to cut that one out. I want the black one with the white writing. So on the strips you get the creativity, dream, imagine, hope, art, believe, journey, create and love. And you get 4 of those strips in the pack. So I've already gone ahead and cut one out, and I've also gone around the edge with a Memento dual marker pen just to hide the white edge, and I've put it on foam, and I'm going to put that just there, like so. Simple but elegant. Hopefully the glue will stick. And there you go. So we can finish off just by adding 3 little gems. I'll get my little Executor knife. Take one of those and just put 3 tiny little gemettes. And I think we will call this little project done. Sometimes less is more, and sometimes less is less. So there you go. One lovely card for inspiration with a stamp board art tile attached.